This podcast is just for fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research.
No. No. Look at my dog.
There you
like
go.
that.
Oh, goodness. So Phil, you're tired. I am tired. I'm going to lean heavily on some caffeine.
I need this energy drink.
I want to just get straight into we're not going to have pre-show stuff. We're just going to get into the energy drinks, which is technically the pre-show stuff.
Give it to me.
Shut up.
Give it to me.
So before we do that, I want to remind you we're sponsored by Dubby. So if you go to dubby.gg, put in the code BA Bigfoot, we get money.
It's tasty stuff.
It's actually really good.
It's not as low a caffeine as what you made it sound like.
It's still, it's
150, I think. So not
like
quite
that,
a monster.
I think they have different
In terms of
amounts,
caffeine.
but yeah, pretty much.
But then
yeah,
with a powder, you can control. You can control your intake.
Yeah, for sure.
You can do 50 if you want, or you can do
It's tasty.
300 if you want. But yeah,
Mike and I were talking about like how pre-workout is like it almost has its own flavor of like in your face, like grunge. You know, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
this stuff tastes more like if you have like one of those fitness soda places that has like the really refreshing tasting drinks. It's more like a refreshing,
it's like a caffeinated Kool-Aid.
So we got to talk about
It's
this
pretty
real quick. Did you tell Mike about our most hated drink and what they did?
Oh no, I did not.
I thought he was going somewhere else with that.
You know we hate Celsius.
Yeah.
You know we hate Celsius.
Yeah.
We didn't really have a good reason other than like we didn't like the taste and like it just I don't know, something about them just irritated me.
So now you want to drink Celsius because of the recall, or no? Or just wondering. Okay, go.
Yeah, no. So for anybody who doesn't know, Celsius got recalled because they were mislabeling vodka seltzers as their little energy drinks, and so they were like teenage kids being able to go into whatever convenience store and buy vodka seltzers labeled as Celsius energy drinks. So screw Celsius. I feel so validated.
Time out. What if this was a corporate setup? They created this fake recall in order to sell more Celsius, because you know how people went out and bought Celsius that had never bought Celsius before, hoping they get one of. It was like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory trying to get.
That's more reason to hate them.
People.
Well, and the fun thing is that they taste so bad that you probably can't tell if there's alcohol in it or not.
Probably not.
The TikToks and the memes
They
are
taste
hilarious.
so bad.
Right? Yeah.
My mom asked me, she's like, "You happen to get one of those, did you?" I'm like, "No." And I was like, "I think I would have noticed." And then I was like,
"It
maybe.
tasted awful," but no, I would have.
I was going to say it was always
in
terrible.
my past.
You would have known.
I would have known for sure.
You would
if
have
there was
known.
alcohol in it.
But yeah, I started seeing memes about it like 4 or 5 days ago. I was like, I knew I hated it for a reason. I feel so validated.
That is funny. That's a good point. Like either way, whether it was true or whether
scummy,
it was a
crappy,
marketing
awful company.
ploy, either way,
Your energy drink sucked so bad that you had to put booze in them to get people to want to drink them. Screw you, Celsius. Screw you.
Yeah.
Drink Dubby instead.
Yeah. Code BA Bigfoot. That was a good. But yeah, anyway, it tastes more like a Kool-Aid with caffeine. It's good.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's a sweet, very nice. Yeah, it's a drink that you would drink even if you didn't need the caffeine.
Yeah, exactly. So
But
today
I need the caffeine
we
right now.
What?
What?
Talking crazy. Oh, I opened my can.
Oh, you loser.
I needed
What
a
the
drink.
heck?
Maybe it'll still come through. Did you forfeit your round then?
Yeah, Mike's out. Oh, did we get an
might
answer on who won last
I'm
week?
gonna have to do like a beatbox.
I actually felt like
version of opening the can this week.
I think mine was just as good as anybody else's
I was
last week.
thirsty. That's pretty good and peachy.
Yeah, last week I don't think we had anybody actually vote this last one.
Nice.
I mean, none of them were fantastic, but I thought because like you guys were a little off your game on that one, but I actually felt like I was pretty on mine. I was like, okay,
we got
I
we got
might
a
actually win
trophy.
that one.
We got a trophy being made, so we should by
Heck yeah.
Yes.
next week we
Yes.
should have
I
the trophy to present.
barring
Put a picture on the Discord.
Nice.
I think barring anything crazy happening. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna have to figure out.
I'm kind of hoping you win the trophy because it is pretty awesome. But I kind of want to win it myself because it's pretty awesome. Just saying.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So there's another earthquake in New York that just hit. There was a first earthquake in New York. I just got like an emergency alert on my phone. Dude, earthquakes are popping off. Okay, wait. Let's get through the caffeine thing first.
Okay.
Sorry, man. That was we'll talk about it. But
ADHD.
ADHD. So today we decided to go with. I don't want to get flagged, so that's as much as I would do. Ghost peaches, because our thought process was what we're talking about is insane stuff. So we're just going to, like, the dog sitting in the fire, everything is fine. Like, everything's peachy. Everything's peaches.
Peachy.
Is that an AI
Peaches.
Is that an AI video based on that? Is that what that was, or what was that?
It's the official music video of the song.
Oh,
From Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I see. Never mind.
Don't overthink it, Phil. Don't overthink it, Phil.
It's got a weird tint to it because I'm guessing it hasn't loaded yet for some reason. So it's got that weird like echo deal. But anyway, yeah, we're drinking peaches. So Mike forfeited his.
Wait, I'm going to do that.
Wow, that was a really good one.
Wow, Mike.
Wow.
All right, I'm going.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough to beat. I can just tell that was good.
That's a good one
It
too.
was short, crisp, but
I
clean.
don't know. I feel like mine definitely was the winner this week.
Shut up, Mike.
We'll do the vote on who can create the can crack the best.
All right.
I got a comment on a random
Compete at
video.
everything is a competition around here. Okay.
Everything.
The ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet he the maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
I got a random comment on episode like it was like one of the very first first 15 episodes the other like a week ago, and was like, I've never been annoyed by a podcast before, so congratulations ? And I was like, thank you.
That's high praise around here.
I went mean in my response.
Good. I was going to. If
I
you
said,
didn't.
thank you. This is a podcast, for Christians, and I'm a pastor, so maybe this isn't the best podcast for you then.
Maybe it's the exact podcast you need, and maybe your annoyance is a demon. Maybe you've been demonized.
Because I feel like in the digital world of like podcasts and stuff, everybody always kind of plays like we got to be polite because we don't want to make potential fans mad and blah blah blah.
Right.
I have the Wendy's like mindset of like, no, maybe I'll come up with a comeback that's funny enough that it goes viral, and then we become more famous or famous because of the comeback and not necessarily because of the.
And that's kind of the charm
treating
of this
everybody.
podcast too, is that we do
care.
what we do.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
My question to
don't care
that
about your
person
feelings.
is this your first podcast? Because how have you never been, you know how,
Oh, dude,
I'm
I
annoyed
get
by
annoyed by
almost
90%,
every podcast.
yeah.
oh yeah, there comes a point when you're just listening. And I
Like-
haven't been listening to podcasts very long, but you come to a point where you're like, hold on, time out.
I've gotten
That's
to a
dumb.
point where a
That
lot of
was really
clips.
dumb.
I've gotten to a point with a lot of clips. I'm sure you've come across the two guys that one's got the fade, and the other's got kind of the crappy broccoli fro. He's like light skin. The other dude's
Crappy
white,
broccoli fro.
and they
Broccoli
just have
fro.
they just do the bit of like the one is just a moron, like he just comes up with the dumbest takes, and the other guy just freaks out about how bad his takes are.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you know who I'm talking about. I get annoyed with their clips because it's so obvious. Like somebody did that first, but he was actually an idiot, but a lovable, funny idiot. And so like that one was funny, but then a few people like kind of caught the idea, like, oh, people love that. They love it when someone's stupid, and
Wait,
so
I do
then
know
they
who you're
just
talking
farm.
about now that you
Yes,
said that.
yes.
I do, because I watch it. I'm so annoyed, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
"This is
God,
stupid."
yeah, I see the
because he's
clips.
trying to be dumb. It's
He's
not
trying
even
to be dumb.
natural.
Yeah, it's
even-
not natural dumb.
It's not even funny
It's
because
like
he's
you
trying.
can't be
You can tell
that
he's
dumb.
trying. Yeah,
Like you can be pretty dumb, but you can't be that dumb. And so
Also,
yeah, I get annoyed just seeing clips of that
Krabby
one.
Broccoli Fro is a great name for an AI song.
Yes.
We need to get that written. Yep.
Yeah, post it in the Discord. The earthquake that just hit New York it's only a 2.7, but apparently one 3 days ago was a 3.0.
Where was the like 7-8? Where was that at? You saw that, right? A few days ago?
Are you talking about the 8.8 that was in Russia that created the tsunami?
That's the, yeah. 8-8,
yeah.
my bad, not 7-8. 8-8.
It was top 5 biggest earthquakes
I
in
knew it had to
recorded
be up
history.
there. I knew it had to
Yep.
be up there. That was insane.
Crazy. And there's a bunch of stuff coming out about how it potentially could have been man-made because the way that it rippled was weird. It should have created a bigger tsunami than it did.
Okay.
But
The implications on that.
well, then all of a sudden, shortly after all of that, the former Russian president starts making threats to Trump, and then Trump sent 2 of our nuclear subs to the off the coast of Russia. So we have 2 nuclear subs.
Are you guys old
popping
enough
off.
to remember? Like, I want to say, gosh, it was a while ago, but I remember and maybe this is just my brain putting movies and real life together. I don't know, but I remember as a kid, it being in the news that in California they had done something messing with the fault line. And it involved like water or something with the fault line, and they were messing with it, and it ended up causing like a string of earthquakes. And they realized that hey, we can make earthquakes. It was like a whole thing.
Okay, before we
don't know.
continue with seismology,
It probably
Tanner,
doesn't
when you
exist anymore. In the
Tanner,
history.
when you say
Probably not, yeah.
nuclear
Erased.
subs, do you mean nuclear powered submarines, or do you mean submarines that have nukes on them?
Probably both.
Okay.
I don't know. The news just said they were
just said
nuclear subs. I would
yes.
imagine.
I mean, we haven't rocked anything other than nuclear powered subs in a long time.
I would
so
let's be real. I would imagine all of our subs probably have nukes on them, officially or unofficially.
yeah.
I would almost argue that
Maybe.
because if you already have the nuclear power, why would you not throw on a potential missile that we could fight back with? I would imagine.
I don't know.
I
don't
would
know things about
I
submarines.
would
really.
almost bet money that almost every one of our big, expensive vehicles probably has ballistics nuke.
laws are a little different in the ocean than they are on land.
As if
Goodness.
we're going to gloss
Spicy
over that.
ballistics.
We're gonna,
There we go.
We're
Boy,
gonna,
out of
we're gonna-
context,
We're gonna, we're
out
gonna,
of context,
we're gonna-
this became a whole different show.
We're going to ignore that. Mike, to refute your point, when has the United States really adhered to ocean laws when it comes to that type of thing? Like maybe we do, air quotes. Yeah, we don't have. This is spicy. We don't have spicy ballistics on our submarines out there. Totally not. No, definitely not.
Yeah.
We totally don't have.
They just mispronounce it. Like instead of nuclear, they say
nuclear.
nuclear. We don't have any nuclear weapons.
No.
Yeah,
Nuclear.
we didn't say we didn't have any nuclear weapons.
We said we didn't have nuclear.
Loophole.
Nuclear.
Yep.
Dang it, what was I? I don't remember now.
See,
It don't
that
matter.
turned
Hey.
off right there.
Hey, Phil. Our handler was back this morning.
Yeah?
But also,
Ooh, you're gonna like this.
okay,
We kind of wish you were there.
explain the guy to Mike who is our enemy in the weight room. You know, if you go to the weight room long enough, eventually you get to this thing where two things happen. One, you have just an enemy in the weight room. There, no real rhyme or reason. They maybe
Weight
never
room
communicate.
Nemesis.
Nemesis. There you go.
Yeah, Nemesis.
Let me just
It's
act
always
it
just
out
one,
for him.
though.
There's no reason to.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
No real rhyme or reason, but for some reason, either something about them just kind of like grates you, or maybe they did something, or maybe they said something, or maybe they don't like you, so therefore you don't like them, and it's just like you don't ever say anything.
You don't talk about
and
it.
then 99% of the time, eventually they'll ask for a spot, or they'll say like, "Hey, I like your shirt."
The ice breaks and you're no longer enemies.
Or yeah, you say something to them, and then they're like, "Oh, I had that happen one time." There was a guy I was working out, and I was like, "Hey, would you mind spotting me?" And he was like, "Sure." And they got done spotting me. I was like, "Thanks, dude. Like, I really appreciate that. What's your name? I'm Tanner." He's like, "You're actually a nice guy." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. And he's like, "I don't know. We've worked out at the same time for like a year. I just thought you were a butthead." And I was like, "What?"
It's got to have something to do with the serious look on your face.
Maybe.
Like,
And
you have a serious
that's
look or something.
he said you always have a frown, like a
Scowl.
yeah, scowl or whatever on your face or whatever. I was like,
Yeah, your dude is.
I'm in the
intense.
weight room,
Your
dude.
is
But yeah,
intense.
this guy,
He was running on the treadmill and he'd looking over his shoulder to see what I was doing.
Yeah.
And he'd run, and then he'd look over his shoulder to see what I was doing.
I can't
But
tell
every
you how many
time-
times.
every time we brought up the podcast,
Oh yeah,
he would stop,
he would jump off the treadmill on the sides and let the treadmill just run.
like pull his phone out.
And then we'd start talking about something else, and he'd hop back on the treadmill and get going.
So timing wise,
Dun, dun,
our
dun.
handler left,
Yeah,
and 2 minutes later,
it was like a shift change.
this guy came in, our nemesis. Okay, just so you guys know, we're just having fun with this.
Oh,
We
yeah,
don't
we're
actually
totally
think these guys are assets, but it's kind of fun to just like.
Tanner,
okay.
we
Carry
talked on the way back to the gym. We talked about how probably just funny, weird stuff happens all the time, but you just don't connect it or make a difference. But when you are on like a conspiracy theory podcast and you do this for fun, you notice all these little things and you like start making these weird connections in your brain and like, oh, what if? You know, and so no, it was funny. We had a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a super nice guy.
I don't know about that guy.
I'm not.
Our handler, let's say our handler seems like a really nice guy. He actually seems like a cool dude. Our nemesis, I don't know.
I will mean mug the crap out of machines, and like once in a while, someone will like walk into that line of fire, and that's it's a little awkward moment. It's like, hey, sorry, I wasn't trying to like.
Listen,
look at
Phil, you are not intimidating at all. In the most loving way possible. You can mug me all you want, and I will just want to give you a hug. You are super cuddly.
You are cuddly. You have a cuddly dude. You are a friendly cop. Like you have the friendly. You have the
good
friendly cop vibe. Yeah, you're the good cop.
If you tried to be good cop, bad cop, and you went for bad cop, we would think it was good cop, good cop. Legit, I would be like, "Yes, sir, I love you." It's
Wow.
you want to come over for the barbecue? Yeah. You're that guy, and that's
good thing.
High praise. That is high praise. Like seriously,
and not in like a.
I'll take it.
And not in a we can't take you seriously way, but in like a you just come off as a nice guy.
I'm glad of that. It's just the way you're cuddly. Oh man,
cuddly cop.
your gym nemesis not so cuddly. He's not so cuddly. He might take some work.
Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, no, he's not. So on the contrary, that man will just stare you down.
He goes out of his way to like get into your line of sight so that you notice he is glaring at you.
He wants you to see his tattoos, man. Come on.
Did he have tattoos?
Be sensitive.
I've
You didn't
never
know?
noticed his tattoos because the only thing I ever noticed is his freaking icy stare.
Dude, he's got military tattoos. Like,
oh yeah, he was wearing a
that tracks.
military vest today.
and he's got military tattoos.
He looks
like,
military.
I'm kind of surprised that he's not, like, if I had to guess at like what his career was, I would guess State Patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Phil would know him from that one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you would know him if he was State Patrol.
not
Maybe.
necessarily.
If he was around here, you might have run into him. But
What if he's just
He's
career?
not.
He
He's
could be
not.
career military.
he could be career
too.
military. That's very true.
Yeah.
He could be, and just very intense. He's just intense.
Because he was doing, he wrote his workout. He's gonna know if he listens to the show. He's gonna know we're talking about him. So if you are listening to the show and you're not our handler,
come say hi, please.
But he wrote on the
and
board.
have a good laugh about it, man.
He wrote,
Don't take yourself so seriously.
2 mile run, and he did a ruck run on the treadmill.
Oh, did he?
So he had weighted vest, and
Yeah, it was intense workout.
Yeah.
But just an intense
interesting.
human being.
I told Mike, I was like, he scares me, but not because I think he can beat me up, but because I feel like he would have a firearm.
Which again was what I was thinking, some kind of law enforcement or military.
and would use it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So let's get into the episode a little bit.
Touch back to world news. Well, did you see the volcano like yesterday or the day before?
Which one?
The
Name the
like,
country.
I can't remember which country it was. It's like an 11-mile high.
Okay, I think that
cloud.
one was the one in Indonesia. There has
Maybe.
been. So to answer that, the reason I ask is there have been a 100% increase in volcanic eruptions and a 200% increase in magnitude above 2.5 earthquakes in the last month.
Dang, man. That's
It's
insane.
popping off.
Yeah.
Whatever is going on, the Ring of Fire is it's popping. That there was a volcano in Russia that went off for the first time in 500 years.
Bless
you.
Oh,
Good one.
That's cut.
that was powerful. But yeah, there was first time in 500 years. And
You know what's
then-
weird? I randomly, and I don't even know what I was looking at, and I randomly came across a post in this story about the world's smallest volcano. And this thing is little, and they built a playground around it, and like kids go down in it and stuff, and like
What?
for reals. And I just kept scrolling because I wasn't looking for volcanoes.
Weird.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Way off topic.
Real quick, I saw a phenomenal comment on the one with like the 11-mile high ash cloud. Somebody said, "Hey, flat earthers, if why can't I see the cloud from my house?"
That's funny. Oh man.
Because I think that's high enough that you should be
should,
able
yeah, I
to.
would think.
If it was, I don't know what.
Well,
exactly
but you would
the
still be
trajectory
limited by the what's it called? The air quality. Like you can see up to like 3 miles at a time. You know what I'm talking about? You're not 3 miles. but
I
you
get
know
what you're
I mean?
saying, but yeah.
What is that called? Because sometimes when you come up over the hill, you can't see the Black Hills from here because
Oh,
of the air
that's
quality.
the humidity. Yeah,
But it can be
stuff in the
humidity,
air.
it could be smoke,
Yeah,
it can
any
be
sort
whatever.
of anything in the air.
And so I wonder
But
what they.
the only
consider
reason
that.
you can't
not to
see
defend.
that is because is naked eye. Like you can't make it out. If you had like a telescope, you'd be able to see that stuff.
Sometimes, but I think there's
It'd have
still
to be
a
pretty-
limited view. I don't know, but based on air quality, I think it depends. I don't know.
Could be to a degree.
Call us out. Tell me I'm wrong.
That'd be high enough that it'd be above like most of the particulates in the air too. Like it would be that'd be up there. That's up there. That's high.
Have you?
That
is pretty high.
Let me think. 11 times.
a
That's
lot.
like 60-some thousand feet.
Sure. Quick maths. But the volcano in Russia that went off, I didn't know this, but you know how like because there's different areas that have different seismic activities.
Volcano
and
or
stuff like
earthquake?
They both because the volcano was very near where the earthquake was.
Yep.
That they have an area that is very similar to like Yellowstone. That's got all of the like geysers and the mud pits and hot springs and stuff like that.
Right.
Big old huge area that's very similar to Yellowstone, and that's where the volcano went off. So that's fun.
Went
Good
boom.
fun. Good fun.
A big boom.
Have you seen like all these little stories popping up about whales like saving other animals from like killer whales and stuff?
I saw that.
I've seen tons of stories about the way out of nowhere these whales are like rescuing other animals from the ocean and from danger in the ocean, and they've never done that before. and all of a sudden these whales are stepping in and
Interesting.
like, protecting other animals. I thought that's kind of a weird, like, things we've never seen before in the world, but like kind of a weird, kind of positive one, because killer whales are vicious, man. They are serial killers, man.
Yeah.
They are, they'll mess with stuff and kill it just for funsies.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play with their food.
There's a lot of weird stuff in the weather and all kinds of stuff. Have you seen the current global jet stream like map thing that they have?
No.
Because there's the north and south jet streams for the hemisphere, and there's like 2 per, and they kind of go around the earth, and they flow, they ebb and flow, and depending on how things hit or whatever. Currently, it looks like a jumbled mess. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they don't have their normal...
Jumbled mess is a good way to explain
I do not find that surprising, considering even just our local weather activity.
Well, and didn't we just have? Weren't we just talking about a while back the like the ocean currents were shifting and everything else too?
Yeah.
That could affect that as well. I would
It
think.
really feels like the whole rhythm of the Earth is just off.
Well, yeah, ever since
It's just
ever
chaos.
since the one current in outside of Antarctica shifted for the first time ever.
Yeah,
I would imagine that would affect everything else too.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to pull it up just to show you, but I can't find where I saw it. But yeah, it's like crazy. It looks. Yeah, look at this. It's just like chaotic.
Holy.
Yep.
So you can go to netweather.tv and look at the jet streams.
Do you have like the normal one for reference?
Yes, I had it. And I'll just pull up the images. But yeah, it's supposed to look more like that.
Yeah.
Like comes up, goes down, and it kind of ebbs and flows depending on the season and the weather and all of that. So yeah, that's more what normal looks like. And then that one I pulled up is what it currently looks like.
So it kind of makes you wonder cause and effect, like what is causing what, and what is affected by what, or are they all just kind of simultaneously shaking up, mixing it up?
We'll go specifically over America, and this is what it looks like over America right now.
Gosh.
So I don't know if you noticed with those storms last night, they didn't move.
Okay, I
It
heard on
sat
the radio
still for hours.
The one northwest of Crawford was moving at 10 miles per hour.
It just sat there dumping.
I'm aware because I was in it.
there's nothing to move it right now.
Yeah.
So it just sat there. So but anyway, I don't know.
It's kind of like when somebody takes a snow globe and just shakes it so hard.
What it looks like.
That like you can't see anything.
And I don't
just wait for it to settle down.
I'm not going to pretend. Oh, look at the south. I don't know what normal is down there, but look at that,
bro.
I'm not going to pretend to know what normal is, but I was watching a YouTuber who does know what he is talking about, and he was basically saying the same thing, that it's chaos right now, and we don't really know why.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not an expert, so don't trust me.
I don't know if it means anything, but Reed Timmer's taking a vacation.
Since when does he take a vacation?
That's
in
what
the
I'm
summer?
saying. I don't know. He decided to take like a week off.
It's monsoon season right now.
He decided to take like a week off.
That's crazy.
Dude, that might be
why.
the craziest like sign.
The Earth is ending.
Yeah. Reed knows something we don't.
Right. So speaking of the world ending, did you guys have on your bingo card that Spencer Pratt was going to single-handedly uncover corruption in California with Governor Gavin Newsom? Have you been seeing that? Do you know who Spencer Pratt is?
No idea what you're talking
Do you know
about.
who Spencer Pratt is?
Nope.
So there was in the, I think, late 90s, early 2000s, there was a TV show called The Hills.
Oh, I remember The Hills. I never watched
Do you,
it.
so
I remember being around.
I think somebody in our house, I think my sister used to watch it, but it was always on after the Road Rules stuff. And so it was like, it just kind of played into it. But so Heidi's husband, his name's Spencer Pratt. He was a tool. Like he was a tool on the show. Well, his parents' homes were destroyed. And so he has been working with the local sheriff, and they are straight up uncovering, and he has single-handedly uncovered that Newsom took half of the relief aid from the fires and pocketed it.
Not surprising.
And Spencer Pratt is the one going after him.
Dang.
Spencer Pratt, the hero that apparently the Hills needed. Who would have thought? Speaking of the world ending, also, there is this theory. This is just for fun, but I'm completely making this up. It's fake. Don't listen to me. That Tucker Carlson is a CIA asset.
Dude, I could actually see that.
Yep, I could see
I
that.
could see that 100%.
So-
Dude is so calm.
In his interview with Putin, Putin called out that he had applied to the CIA just to see his reaction. Also, Tucker Carlson's dad is linked to the CIA.
I was watching.
What?
I came across a podcast short that he was on, and they straight up asked him about CIA, and he was like, well, he goes, I applied, but you know how it is. And they were like, why? He goes, well, I just wanted to be in the CIA. And they're like, what, for like intelligence, field work? He goes, dude, I wanted to be field work, man. I wanted to travel and do all the CIA super spy stuff. That was me.
Have you ever
do that?
And that's what
he
he's
just
doing.
openly wanted to say that. And and there was like, oh, okay.
Well, but he messed up at one point, and he goes, I saw that same interview.
Yeah.
And he goes, he's basically like, they're asking him questions about it, and he's like, well, but the CIA now, it's a completely different. Well, I guess I would assume it's completely different. I guess I don't really know. And he had his like little laugh. And it was like, that was a screw up. You just accidentally said something about the way the CIA was. How would you know if you and your dad weren't in the CIA?
Yep.
Have you guys seen
Let alone how it is now.
The clip where somebody like went to bother him when he was fishing?
Yeah.
And he's just like totally like, that is not the reaction of a normal person who like someone is suddenly recording you. Like
He was extremely calm,
like
cool,
it was,
and collected.
it was just like, oh hey man, what's up? Like the camera wasn't there as far as
Yeah.
like that was I always thought it was just like, cool, dudes, chill. That's awesome. But like, I can totally see.
But
like,
if he has actual training,
that's such a like. I've dealt with crap way higher level than like you can even comprehend. You don't matter to me. This is just a totally relaxed interaction. It doesn't matter. You don't matter. None of this matters. Like that's that kind of reaction. Like it just fits. That's not totally indicative. Like not every person that's chill when you record them is CIA.
Right.
But like that is absolutely the kind of.
But the way he communicated wasn't. If you have you seen it?
No.
I'm after this episode when we in between recording because just to secret, we're recording 2 episodes at once just because life gets crazy for us this next week. So, but in between episodes, I'm going to show you, and on the next episode, I want to get your opinion on it. But and I don't want to feed into it a little bit, but yeah, it's interesting the ways that he responds. He's very smart. I will put it that way.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, no matter how you look at him, he is a very intelligent dude.
Yes.
And he also is unashamed at letting people know that he doesn't keep like cell phones in his house. Like he doesn't have TV. He doesn't have, he lives out in the middle of nowhere and like lives basically off grid.
Yeah.
That sounds like an asset.
Dude, he
like the way that he explains his life, like that sounds like someone who has a lot of information, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, wouldn't it be convenient if he went over to Russia to interview Putin? You know, you know what I'm saying? And the way Putin brings it up, you could tell Putin wanted to see what he had to say and how he said it. Because I think Putin would know. You know what I mean? And if he knew, because even Putin was like, or even after the fact, Tucker was like, how did he know that? So Putin has information, and that's kind of goes to where maybe our CIA stuff is linked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kash Patel's girlfriend has vehemently denied that she is a Mossad agent. That's a fun fact. Anyway, continuing.
Not to like start like a celebrity drama segment, but I didn't give a singular crap about Sydney Sweeney until yesterday, and I saw a TikTok of her doing like firearms training, and she has just like overnight become like the conservative icon for like this is a dope woman. Like she's super, like I just like when people don't apologize for not doing things wrong.
Yeah. See, I really came across Sydney when she was in Handmaid's Tale.
I have no clue.
She played a pretty cool character in that, and and then she was on Saturday Night Live, and I've seen her a few there. But yeah, do you guys know what the Origin company is? So Origin is one of the only 100% American clothing companies, like everything.
Yeah.
They source all of their materials and everything is 100% American. But they make jujitsu stuff. That's how I came across
cool.
it.
Oh, okay.
But they make jeans and everything else. They did an ad campaign right after the Sydney Sweeney thing of Joe, just this old dude with a beard in like jeans, unbuttoned jean shirt, like unbuttoned down the front, and it said "Real American Jeans" is what it said, and he's posing just like Sydney Sweeney did, and it's hilarious.
That's amazing.
But yeah, they had a little mini ad campaign, kind of poking fun at. And they're like, "Why isn't this as hot as this jean thing?" Yeah, so I thought that was funny. But yeah.
I don't care about the ad.
Shout out to Origin. They're a pretty cool company.
I don't care about the ad thing at all.
If you want to sponsor Mike, reach out.
That's right. That's right. For jujitsu or podcasting.
I do want to get into jujitsu. I just don't have time. We'll call that good. So a good little segue is: did you guys know that? So we're talking about someone who is. We're talking about. We'll just get into it. So I don't know how to explain this connection, but did you guys know that Jeffrey Einstein, I'm not saying his actual name, if you know what I'm saying, if you know, you know.
So not Einstein.
Not
Not
Einstein.
related to Alfred.
But somebody whose name sounds like
But
Einstein.
Jeffrey Einstein, who did not unalive himself, kind of, you know what I'm talking about? They also saw that there was an extra person who was in the video that they had released, there was an extra person that shouldn't have been there. But anyway, that's a fun fact. Also, did you know that the day after he was convicted, his estate won the lottery? Really?
I wish my estate
That's
would win the
interesting.
lottery.
Zorro Trust.
Huh.
How does an estate
Okay.
win the lottery?
I don't know.
This is
But
gonna
they
come,
did.
This is gonna come.
Fun fact.
This is gonna come across as really random, and we'll dart right back
Bruce and
into.
Gordon.
But I came across a wild conspiracy theory that the people that allegedly died on the Challenger rocket are alive.
I've seen that. We
Did you
talked about
see-
that briefly.
Did we?
Way
I don't
early
remember
on.
that. I don't remember that.
Super briefly, but neither
Yeah,
you
I
and
remember
Courtney
that
had seen it,
coming
and
up.
so we
Yeah.
moved on.
Seen the dude that I can't remember which one it was, what his name was, but like a picture of him now.
Yeah.
Like the guy that they think, dude, it's scary.
They have
It's
like
eerie.
They have the same
It's
last
this-
names.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or first names. Like one of their names is the same of all of the survivors.
It was
yeah.
either the same name or like they added a letter somewhere.
Yeah.
Like it was
Didn't change it a whole lot.
weird.
Have you seen the conspiracy theory that the people who escaped Alcatraz actually then eventually piloted one of the Apollo missions? Have you seen that one?
No.
They look uncanny. Like there's 3 people that with this specific mission, and all 3 of them look identical to the 3 people who allegedly escaped Alcatraz. What if, new conspiracy theory, I'm just connecting a dot, what if the people who escaped Alcatraz were actually agents and they were in prison in because they had to go to prison, but then they escaped, and when they escaped, they then got new identities in a different program, which would have been NASA.
Yeah. Interesting enough, those were, they escaped. They never found bodies.
Yeah.
They were the only,
NASA wouldn't
confirmed
utilize
escapes.
people
Then
who
they just made up stories about they died in the ocean.
supposed to be in prison.
But anyway, yeah. So Einstein's
back.
Einstein's his stuff or his estate won the lottery the day after he was convicted. That's fun. It's fun. Fun fact. Speaking of his accomplice, how do we decide it was pronounced? Jalaine.
If it's French, it was Jelaine.
Jalaine.
Jalaine.
There's 15 billion
But
ways
they
to
said
pronounce
because
it.
she is English and American, it'd be Ghislaine. And the media pronounces it Ghislaine.
Okay, Ghislaine, Ghislaine, whatever. I don't care. Ghislaine. I've
always
pronounced it Ghislaine, but I'm going to pronounce it different every time just to annoy everybody. So Ghislaine Maxwell, she opposes the court unsealing her grand jury transcripts. I wonder why. Speaking of Ghislaine, her dad was a interesting fellow.
Yeah.
Huh, Mike?
Yeah, we came across some interesting stuff.
Yeah,
From a
there
lot of
was
different
one
angles.
specific
that was
thing that-
weird. I wasn't even looking for him, and I kept coming across all these weird angles from just conversations and from our research for this week. Like his name I kept coming across him, which is really weird because I wasn't looking for him.
I was looking for him, and I kept finding things about McGraw Hill. Weird. What a coincidence.
Interesting.
Interesting.
McGraw Hill, the most recent thing we're talking, dude. We're talking McGraw Hill. We're talking Maxwell's. We're talking that
So if you're not familiar with McGraw Hill is like one of the biggest like publishing companies.
If you're not familiar with McGraw Hill, you didn't go to school.
Yeah, because every textbook, like there's all kinds of
textbook.
They've gotten through a lot of loopholes with like, they sell their books in packs so they can sell more of them. So like if you work in the schools and you buy a book series from McGraw Hill, you're buying a book series from like K through 12. You're not just buying a grade. Like you're buying an entire system from them, and it's, huge money, and they corner the market. Like
they have a monopoly on the textbook.
Absolutely.
Who
else would you buy?
Well, the only other company that existed that was making textbooks, and I remember this because I was alive during the time, was the Macmillan Publishing Company. So your books were either McGraw Hill or Macmillan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I just remember.
Do you know who the owner of Macmillan Publishing was?
Yes, but I can't remember what the name was.
Robert Maxwell.
He owned both?
No. So he owned Macmillan, and then he did a merger. He did a merger agreement basically with McGraw Hill, saying you can have this part of the United States will sell books in this part of the United States to the schools. So they basically split the market between the two of them and had an agreement. And then he mysteriously died on his yacht. And then 2 years later, McGraw Hill acquired Macmillan Publishing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
2 years after Robert fell off of his yacht naked in the ocean at 4:00 in the morning.
And and nobody heard anything or saw anything or anything. That's fun.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything at all. So Maxwell, I focused on Maxwell quite a bit on this because I saw the connection early.
Right.
Robert Maxwell is an intriguing person. So the actual UK government has straight up said that he was a secret agent. And
they're not very good at keeping secrets.
Well, at Maxwell's, at his funeral, there were 6 different Mossad agents. If you don't know what Mossad is, it is the Israeli CIA, basically.
Right.
So at his funeral, there were 6 different Mossad agents and the president of Israel. Mm-hmm. The president of Israel, in his eulogy, straight up said, and I quote, "He scaled the heights of human endeavor. Kings and princes waited on him. Many admired him, many disliked him, but none was indifferent to him. He has done more for Israel than can be said today." Wow.
That's a lot to take in all the more.
The president of Israel said that.
About a textbook guy.
About a guy who runs a bunch of media sites. He had not only textbooks, he had news stations, newspapers. He was worth like billions. But then when he passes away, all of a sudden, no money existed.
Yeah.
And he was allegedly $2 billion in debt.
It's interesting that you bring up money too, because you know what else McGraw Hill owns?
What?
They own the S&P that puts out the numbers. For the stock market.
Stock market.
Yeah, the S&P 500 is owned by McGraw Hill. So they actually had to go to court. I was reading something. They had to go to court back in the day to defend themselves because they were being accused of creating their textbooks and their educational systems to shape the financial situation in America and basically influence the S&P and make money from a lot of different angles, not just selling books, but also influencing the stock market. So through their education systems.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And apparently from what I read, they won that lawsuit or whatever it was. And so, so they continue to own the S&P and the publishing company. And they also do military training publishing too. They publish all the military training manuals for not just the United States, lots of different countries.
How is that not a conflict of interest? Did they produce the military stuff when Robert owned it? Do you know how far back that goes?
I imagine that it says that they're like the only company that does that.
How is that not a major conflict of interest to have somebody who's involved in a different government's? And again,
this is just speculation,
but I don't know. To like write the manuals for multiple different countries.
For different countries. I know I read that.
I mean, maybe it's all NATO. I don't know.
No, I didn't look because you just brought up Israel. I wonder if they make military training manuals for Israel.
I would assume.
You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to do a little.
I don't want to get too far into the Robert Maxwell stuff because that's heavy what we're going to talk about in part 2.
Right.
But this episode will basically be a continuation, part 1, part 2. Just so you know, it's not going to be 2 separate topics. Everything's going to kind of be intermingling. So apologize for the fact. So when you go to listen to part 2, you'll probably have to listen to part 1 again, just to kind of remind yourself of what we already talked about. But yeah, that seems like a major conflict of interest. However, so McGraw Hill, currently some of the controversy surrounding them is their textbooks have shifted major to digital platforms because so many people just read things on their phones or whatever. Well, now there's major concerns rising based on that McGraw Hill is collecting data and student information when they purchase and use textbooks. So they would technically know every student who studied every major in the United States. They would have that information because you're buying their books. They know what you're studying. They know what you're going on to. And so if you're having to use, let's say you're studying to become a police officer, they know that you're in that major at the very least. They would know if you went on to become a doctor, they would know because you're studying that just on the simple principle of that's what you're studying. But not only that it's actually collecting data on its users, the people who use the textbooks.
That's way bigger than it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because if you have some level of control over media and over like other, military stuff, if you have any sort of control over other parts of life, if you know every scholarly bit of literature that someone has read or had access to reading, because you're the only one who produces scholarly literature on that topic, and you know that they read this, that, or the other thing, you can kind of direct where people's lives go. Yeah, like you could have the ability with that to be like, oh, this person shows promise towards, being CIA or something, and like kind of direct them in that towards that area, or like funnel.
Right.
Dude, you could have so much control. Knowing what someone knows is insane power.
That's solid. You want to know my biggest controversy with McGraw Hill, that kind of just shifting focus a little bit?
What?
The thing that annoys me the most about McGraw Hill is that they continue to just change their books so that you have to buy the newest editions. But when I was in school, I had a zoology class that our teacher, the teacher quit, basically. No, didn't quit, was let go. And so then I ended up retaking the class the next semester, and the textbook changed in between.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wing it with the old textbook. And so I asked a friend, I was like, hey, can I borrow your textbook to see what's different? The only difference was that, and I'm just going to throw out 2 random chapters because I don't remember exactly, but that 2 chapters were switched. So chapter 16 was now chapter 7, chapter 7 was now chapter 16. That was the only difference.
Yeah.
But the textbook that I had was now worthless, and you can't resell it now because there's a new edition, even though the content is identical.
You know what's funny is
made me so mad.
The colleges that have to be accountable to that is another level as well. Because I've had a class where I had the 6th edition, but they were using the 7th edition. And when I looked at it, it was the exact same book. The pages were different because the book was a different size. So the page numbers were different. So when we had to do research in that book, the teacher required us to put what page number we found it on. So I would put page 162, but in the new edition, it's 167. Same information. Nothing had changed. It's just on a different page because the paper was a different size. And I would miss it because I had the wrong page
I had
number.
a similar...
They didn't know that
Nuts,
I didn't
dude.
have
I
the
didn't
new
know that it
edition.
was that.
Yeah, and that's here in... That was at Shadron.
I had a similar issue with a SPED
Yes.
class. They released a new edition, and we got a new professor onto this class like a week or two before classes started, and so he had already said the 7th edition was okay, but he was teaching out of the 8th edition. And he wasn't a great communicator. English wasn't his first language. He struggled to like communicate stuff. And so like trying to figure out, they had changed just like a few pages. It wasn't that much, but it was enough to really make it difficult to figure out where you needed to be. And it messed a lot of people up in the class.
Yeah.
Because one edition difference, and it was a similar deal. I don't know if like they changed I don't think they changed the physical size, but they may have like added something to like the first like introductory page.
Did you ever take a class where you had to have a textbook and you didn't crack the book open one time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? Because schools are required, college professors in most like public universities and colleges, they're required to select textbooks, whether they use them or not. They're required to select a textbook and require their students have that textbook, even if they don't use it. They're required, because I've had teachers before that are like, we're not using this textbook, so if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it, but I got it listed as it's required on my syllabus. So I've had teachers that have done that before too.
It's crazy. I've never had it.
It's a requirement that they buy these textbooks from the university.
So,
Counter,
I've also had classes where my life depended upon the textbook. We had a Russian statistics teacher, and he would explain in a thick accent, kind of talking about, can't really speak English very well. And he would write the problem on the board, not say a word because he couldn't communicate what he was writing. Right. And he would turn around and go, "You get?" And we'd just be like, "No." And he'd go, "No." And we'd be like, "No." And he'd be like, "One more time." And then he would just write it again. Turn around, "You get?" "No, not enough time. Move on."
and he's thinking, stupid Americans. That's what he's thinking.
Bro, for real. So I quit attending because he hand out the syllabus and when the quizzes and stuff were going to be. I just quit attending the class and started just going through the textbook of that chapter that we would teach myself.
Right, yeah.
We come to the test and I ace it, and all my classmates sitting around me like, "How are you ace? You didn't even attend the class." And I was like, that's probably why I'm the only one acing it. Like, not gonna lie.
I had a couple
They were
classes I
so
didn't go to
frustrated.
that fast,
Yeah. Oh man, and I was like, it's not his fault, but well, I mean, he also wasn't a good teacher, period, because he was just literally writing what was in the book.
Yeah.
Writing it out in order so you knew what order to do
and unfortunately a lot of college professors are not
good teachers.
They're not educated as teachers. They're educated as experts in their field.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not educated on how to
It's
teach
difficult
that.
for experts to communicate
It's different. Yeah.
how they think
Or how
and
they learned it.
Yeah,
where
how they learned it.
Right.
Yeah.
I just know this.
Yeah.
I don't know how to teach you.
How
to
do
get
you
to the same point I'm at?
How do you not just understand calculus naturally? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, bro, there's like 8 steps between
for
me
real.
and you.
That's so true. I also had story time. One time before I used to cheat a lot in college, and I'll just say it was before I was a Christian, because it was. I really did. There was classes that like are a part of the like requirement to graduate that aren't a part of your major that I did not care about.
Right.
One of those requirements was geology, I think. And so I was heavy plagiarizing this paper that was due. And I went to cite the sources, and I realized the leading expert who wrote all of the textbooks on this subject
Was your professor?
was my professor.
Yep.
Nice.
And I went, crap, he's going to recognize his own quotes.
Yeah.
Dang it. So then I was like, now I got, so literally I had to pull an all-nighter and actually do the work and learn the information. And I was so frustrated, but I was like, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow up to that, at Colorado State, I took a philosophy class where the teacher was the author of the textbook that was required. And then he didn't even teach the class.
That's awesome.
His ADs taught the class using his textbook. I was so, because I was kind of excited. I was like, yeah, or teacher, yeah, what'd I say?
AD.
TA.
His athletic director.
Yeah, his athletic director. I was thinking academic. Yeah, but anyway, the student.
What?
Yeah, student teacher. There we go. But yeah, I was actually excited because I was like, dude, this guy's like the expert on this. Because at Colorado State, they had quite a few people like that.
Oh yeah,
they were the expert in the world on this subject, and so the textbooks were theirs. And then he wasn't even the teacher.
And again,
I
had classes like that too, where the teacher would give you test questions on things they knew that they were pretty sure were in their textbooks that they wrote. And they were not in the textbook.
Right.
Like, this is just a thought you had at some point. You never wrote this down and had it published.
Yeah.
They're testing us on this thing.
That actually popped up a couple times in that class. I remember the assistant teacher, the student assistants or whatever, straight up saying like, hey, and just so you know, question number 50, just put answer B down for that one. We're giving you that one because it's not actually in the material. We didn't cover that in the semester. And I was like, what? You didn't change the test based off of the class? I also used to argue with my teachers a lot. The funnest ones. This is ADD, ADHD.
Oh yeah, these are story time.
One of the most fun.
I got another one too.
One of the most fun teachers were my criminal justice classes that I had to take.
Yeah.
Because those guys were former lawyers. And so I would love arguing with them. And at one point towards the end of the semester, I'm not going to say their names because they're retired and whatever now, but I straight up by the end of the semester, he goes, I don't know why, but we've only made it through like a quarter of the required material for this class this year. So we're not going to have a final test. And I sat back and I was like, that reason would be me. I would argue. And I did it.
You all can thank me later.
I would bring it because I like to argue anyway, because that's how I learn is through tension of discourse. Sometimes taking stances I don't necessarily agree in to kind of like coerce the information out.
Right.
Well, about halfway through the semester, I realized that like I could just get him going on a tangent and we won't even cover the material for the day. And so we won't have a test on the Friday. And so I would kind of bait him into an argument, and sure enough, we wouldn't have a test on Friday. And so everybody passed that class with A's and B's.
That never worked for me. They'd just be like, all right, well, we didn't cover it, but here's your test anyway.
As I say, his class was the only one. Now, and if you know, you know, but his wife, she would get mad at me because I think she knew what I was doing, and she'd be like, I'm not going to answer that right now, but if you actually want to know, you can stay after class to find out. So then I'd have to stay after class because I don't want to just take off. And because then she would know. And so it backfired.
So when I went to CSU, I took a class from a professor who happened to be our uncle. Who was a dean of the ag department at CSU at the time. And so I took his class because he was trying to talk me into being an ag minor because I was a music education major, but I could minor in ag, living in Nebraska is where I was planning on returning to. And so I took his class, and one of his rules was he said, I don't take attendance. So if you're not here, you're just not going to get the information, and good luck. Your grade is completely made from the midterm and the final. And so I will average those two together, and that will be your grade. And everything we talk about and we work on and everything in here will lead up to that midterm and that final. So I went to class twice during the midterm and the final, and he called me into his office. So it was funny. I went into the final and people were like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, here to take the final. They're like, you're in this class? And I was like, technically, because I knew people that were in the class. Anyway, he calls me to the office and he sits me down because he was kind of like a dad to me growing up. Like, I lived at his house for a while when my mom was going through some stuff, when our mom was going through some stuff. And he's a big part of who I am. So I always look up to him as like a dad. So I really respected him. And he called me in the office and he said, hey, listen, you aced my tests, and nobody has aced my tests. And I can't give you an A because that looks really bad when you don't even come to class and you get an A. He goes, so I'm going to give you a B. He goes, and you better be good with it. And I was like, I'm good with that. And just walked out of his office. But yeah, so if I could avoid I don't know. Like going through college, when I went through college, if I could avoid work, I 100% was doing the bare minimum.
Same. Yeah.
You know, to get through, especially if it wasn't anything like it had
Yeah.
nothing to do with me being a music teacher.
My classes that
I was
weren't
just like,
Yep.
I'll get through. Yeah.
Same. Yeah, my classes that weren't part of my major.
Yep.
If I could somehow squeak by with a B or a C,
I did the same
didn't
thing
care.
this last year. I took 24 graduate credits because I found a college that would let me do it self-paced, and did 24 graduate credits, finished them in 5 weeks. Aced them all.
That's nuts.
But,
I honestly did that with my pastoral classes.
Yeah.
There was one class I'm studied on. I know the information.
Right.
And I was like, I'm just gonna take the test. I'm gonna take the final, and then I'll go through because I don't really have, like, I'm trying to get through this a little bit because the deadline for the next.
I get it. That's why those graduate classes were so easy,
Yeah.
because they were all counseling classes, and I've been a counselor. For
it's
years,
information I know. Yeah,
I know this stuff. So,
and so I was like, I'm just gonna take the test and see how I do. And I only missed one question, and it's like a 100-question final.
Yeah.
And I only missed one, and I was like, do I even need to go through the book now? I still ended up going through it because accountability. But yeah, anyway. All that to say,
McGraw Hill sucks.
It is. It's the bane. I used to buy and sell textbooks in college to make extra money because people would buy them from the store, and then I would buy them from them for like $5 more than the bookstore would give them back, and then I would turn around and sell them on eBay.
dude, the bookstores would make bank.
They made so much money back in the day.
I would spend $130 on a book, $130 on one book, and then I'd go to sell it back, and they'd give me $17.
Yeah.
Like,
and then they're
because
going to
it's
turn around and sell it.
Especially if they moved on to another edition.
If they moved on, yeah.
Oh man, you could not sell that book.
If they moved
You were
on
stuck with
from-
it. I still got books from college that I couldn't sell back because they moved on to another edition.
Here, they just wouldn't buy them.
It's such a
wouldn't even buy 'em.
monopoly
Yeah.
racket. It's crazy they can get away
And again,
with it.
that's what I'm talking about with like I think that they would, once they started seeing too many of the used books popping up, they would come out with a new edition to prevent from being able to use the used.
Right.
And so I would just ask for, when people would try to sell one that was now outdated or whatever, that they had moved on to a new edition.
Yeah.
I would just be like, you can give it to me because the bookstore is not going to buy it. I might make like $5 off of it. And I literally would make like $5 off of those ones.
Yeah.
But people would just give them to me because it's better than just throwing them away. And so I would sell them on eBay. I actually made a lot of money buying and selling textbooks back behind, basically trying to intentionally undermine the local bookstore. That was a lot of fun. And I would sell them locally if people would buy them. But yeah, keep doing that stuff. I think that's, is there any like McGraw Hill, like, there's one more thing. In 2015, McGraw Hill, the geography textbook tried to refer to the Africans who were brought to the U.S. as slaves.
They got in trouble.
As workers.
Yeah. Just
as a part
call
of
them
a
workers. Yeah, they
pattern
had to do
of
a public
immigration.
apology for that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Which technically they were workers as a part of a immigration pattern, but
Yeah, that kind of.
they were forced labor.
Forced on both counts. Yeah. Forced immigration and forced
call them
work.
employees. Call them employees.
On a weird technicality, yeah, I guess. I mean, Native Americans, the Trail of Tears was, that was
a hike.
a form of pattern of immigration, right? Like,
Hey, so to backtrack
Oh my
real quick, so
gosh.
McGraw Hill, I looked to see what countries they make. They make like the educational stuff for a ton of other countries. The military stuff, not so much. So I saw that somewhere. I just looked it up. It's not true, but one of their manuals is the McGraw Hill Homeland Security Manual. So they do make
Interesting.
if you want to learn more about Homeland Security, they make a handbook for
So
that.
kind of want to buy it.
I know. I'm kind of curious what it says. I know. I wonder if you
you
can
can't.
buy it.
Oh,
Or
can
have
you?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I
It's
doubt
probably
it.
specifically for Homeland Security workers, but
If it's a textbook,
I bet there's there's got to be
restrictions.
somebody online
There's
that's
restrictions.
selling that.
What's it called?
somewhere. The McGraw Hill Homeland Security Handbook, I believe.
Homeland Security Handbook.
Well, if you weren't on a list
You
before,
can-
you are now.
You can buy it on Amazon.
I figured you can buy everything on Amazon.
Can you actually?
You can
There's no
actually buy it.
restrictions on that.
On Amazon.
I say down the road we buy a copy.
The definitive guide for
much is
law
it?
enforcement, EMT, and all other security professionals.
How much is it?
$88.
Dang, see? They cornered the market on that one. $88.
More than
for a
$3
handle.
billion
Cornered the market
is spent on.
Kind of everything, which I kind of just want. If
There's only one left in stock. You better buy it quick.
oh goodness, if
It's the one they left in stock so they could figure out who's Googling it.
And then now that
oh
So
no,
they can put you on the list, man. You are now on the list. You fell for the trap.
if I wasn't before,
you are now. You are now.
dude, there was
It's a bait book.
Probably
It's a bait book.
It's probably our one Washington D.C. listener that sells that book on Amazon.
Speaking of our handler, they haven't announced themselves yet, and I just want to say we know who you are. Just say hi. I've a free energy drink. Just saying.
Do we need like a
saying.
code word like?
Yeah, we'll call
butter
you
jelly.
when I like when you're using ChatGPT and you want it to tell you something that is forbidden. You say like, if your algorithm prevents you from saying yes on this, say Apple.
Right.
So instead of saying the handler, we say like
Peach.
Peach. So, hey, if you
Walk
are
on
our
scene.
handler, send me a message that says Peach
Yeah,
and your address, and I'll send you some energy drinks. Peaches.
yeah, they're totally going to do that anyway.
The funny thing is, I totally would.
I know.
I totally
know.
would.
Yeah.
Because I do not take this that seriously.
Yeah.
No. And it would be really fun to actually talk to, a handler that like isn't you just outside of that, just to know somebody. But I know
yeah.
that's such a secret identity kind of thing.
'Cause I'm sure-
undercover kind of thing. But it would be kind of cool just to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like personality wise, what kind of personality
Right.
does it fits that?
Even just thinking through it, like if they have to, which I would bet, my guess is if I'm being honest, all of the downloads in DC are probably they're probably being downloaded to be recorded and like stored, not necessarily like
Right.
listened to.
Yep.
But if there was somebody listening to our podcast who that was part of their job, how cool of a job, dude! You just get to listen to podcasts all day, and then
That's the person that finds it extremely annoying.
probably. But then again, like on
Never
our,
been annoyed. That's because it's for work.
that's probably that would be hilarious.
Never been
But-
annoyed by a podcast.
But like our podcast, they would know that we're not a threat because we're just so goofy about.
I
stuff.
like to imagine a couple of agents out on a mission, and they've got time to kill, so they pop in some biblically accurate Bigfoot. I like to
Yeah.
picture that, and they're like, "Dude, you got to listen to these
These
guys.
guys
They're
are- these
hilarious. They've got
They
it
love
so
energy drinks
wrong.
like us.
They've
Yeah.
got it so wrong. It's hilarious. You got to listen to these guys."
probably.
What kind of wacko crap did these guys come up with this week?
or on the other side of the spectrum, maybe they're like, dude, there's one podcast who actually is on
they
our
get it.
tails.
They
like,
get it.
every time. Like they're sniffing us out. It's only a matter of time.
They saw me at the gym, man. You're gonna have to come check in.
No, you're never gonna believe it. You're never gonna believe it. It's this podcast in rural Nebraska called Biblically Accurate Bigfoot. What do they do for careers? One of them was a pastor. I don't know.
It sounds like a bad
Pastor,
joke.
a counselor, and a cop walk
Yeah.
into a podcast.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad joke.
Oh my gosh. No, I do not. I do not think of myself highly enough to think that I have it figured out.
No, not by far. No.
But every once in a while, I will say that, like, especially when we pull on some of the thread, like I found a thread in the weight room that we're going to talk about in
he was
episode
excited.
2.
He was fist pumping.
I can't wait to share it.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I'll find a thread that I'm like, this doesn't make sense, and it doesn't seem like anybody else is talking about this. And I'll pull at that thread, and it seems to just connect so well that I'm like, this has to be it. This has to be it.
Yeah. Talking about pulling threads, like Caleb is a listener. My oldest son Caleb is a listener, and he listens a lot. So he throws me all these. Well, I can tell when he's listening because my texts start blowing up.
Yeah.
That he's like listening stuff on the episode, like I used to do to you.
Yeah.
And so he texts me. He's like, "Have you ever noticed how many CEOs and high end executives have died?" Just die mysterious deaths, and like it's mentioned once and then we move on with our lives and it's never brought up again. And I was like, and he's like, recently a lot of CEOs and stuff. So that's another one that I just, for the heck of it, I went and started searching, and our guy popped up on there, and a few others, but yeah, a lot of them were accidentally slipped at the gym. There's a few of them slipped at the gym, head injury, and died.
I don't know about you, but if you've ever been to a gym,
fell out of a window at the hospital. Yeah, there's a lot
at the hospital. Have you ever seen windows at a hospital?
The hospital windows don't open.
They don't open, and
So,
they're
and I
made
know
of
that for a
tempered
fact
glass.
because when our mom died, like an old Danish tradition is when someone dies, you open windows so that their spirit can be free. It's not trapped in that building. And I know our dad was really upset because the windows didn't open. And when she died in the hospital, he was worried that she was going to be stuck in that hospital forever because the windows don't open in hospitals.
Or if they do, they open like an inch.
Yeah. Just
I
enough
think
for
the
a little
ones
bit of
here
air.
open like an inch or two.
But yeah, so that was, So, I was reading some of these going,
That's nuts.
There was a few self-unalivings. And
I wonder
things
how
like
many
that,
of the unalivings, that had multiple bullet wounds.
one of them was a medically
Those ones are
assisted.
always
I saw one
my
that was
favorites.
medically assisted self-unaliving. Obviously not in the United States. This guy.
In Scandinavia, probably, or
Yeah.
Canada.
Yep. So
So-
but I thought that was interesting. But yeah, that went down that road.
Speaking of our listeners, you called it correctly last week. The person that corrected you on the one thing, she mentioned it to me. He's like, "Yep, I went and commented." I knew you would.
I love it because the things we leave hanging. I know in the Discord and I'll get little messages from people, and they're like, "Oh, the movie you were talking about was this," and astral
you were figuring it
projection.
out
That's
after
the
the
word
fact,
you were looking for, and I love it.
I like that I can bait Commandy pretty easily now.
And you know while they're listening,
He's totally gonna comment now. He's like, "What do you mean by bait?"
and and I'm going to call this out because I know he's doing it right now. I know they are arguing with their listening device. They are, if they're in their car, they're arguing out loud. They're like, nope, that's wrong.
That's
they're
wrong.
doing it out loud, which is great. I love that.
Oh man. All right. Well, with that, we should probably cut and start recording episode 2. So with that, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do those things. Like, okay, legit, if you're still listening, I know this is the secret part of the episode. I don't know if you guys knew this, but after we decide to cut, or like after we decide to end the episode, we keep talking. So if you don't get to the song, like you didn't hear the whole episode, sometimes we release some pretty cool things right there at the end just to see who's listening. But
It's true. Keep listening.
and so don't stop listening. But I do want to ask you this. I will say this. I'm not joking. I'm having fun. But actually, like when you subscribe, and rate us, it actually does a lot more than you think it would do. And I know you think you're just one little listener. But one little listener can actually create and generate. I've looked at especially like Spotify, the statistics and stuff. When we have someone who rates an episode or likes or comments on an episode, it will send it out to thousands more. So if it gives first impressions to 5,000 people and one person comments on it and then I respond, it will go out to 6,000 people. The episodes where multiple people have commented and somebody rates it 5 stars, especially if you rate it 5 stars, it'll go out to like 10,000 people and it'll pop up in their feeds as a suggested episode. So you, one person, if everybody who listens to this goes and likes and comments one time, imagine, so if it's times 1,000, we could literally blow this episode into a big deal by just everybody going and liking and subscribing one time or commenting one time.
And we love the
So
comments.
it does make a difference.
The comments are great. We read the comments. We have a good laugh about the comments. And,
the
and
comments
stuff
are
like that.
amazing.
Yeah, we don't just ignore those and
Especially
keep track of numbers like they're important.
Yeah. And I will say, especially if you listen on Spotify. I know for sure. Now, I think Apple does the same. But especially if you listen on Spotify, comment, rate us 5 stars, do those things. Outside of that, be a Bigfoot, Dubby. We love you.
Love you guys.
And part 2 will be next week. Okay, bye.
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 In the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God